Hello friends, we are on Morne Coco Rd heading north and we are going to Paramin. We are here on the island of Trinidad, which is part of the country Trinidad and Tobago. It's the southernmost island in the Caribbean. We drive on the left hand side, as you can see, and these roads are in a mountain. Paramin, which is where we're heading to, is a mountain village. It has a rich history. Basically, Paramin got its name from a tree, certain trees on a certain road, and I don't know if those trees are still there or not, but that's basically how it got its name. And we're going to turn left here. Now there's another way you can get to Paramin, which is from Saddle Road in Marval, and that's the most common way people know how to get here. But this is just part one of this trip to Paramin Road, and I'm taking this way, the way less known. This is Morne Rene Rd, and it's very steep. I started out with 4x2, and I really should have started with 4x4, but at some point I will change, and it will be necessary, because if you have a truck and it's only 4x2, it is not likely that you will be able to make it up some of these roads. And you can tell how high we are by that bird that's passing. Usually where those birds glide very close to the road, you know you're very high up. So we're basically riding a mountain ridge as we go up this road. Now Paramin was settled by the Spaniards, because Trinidad used to be controlled by the Spaniards from Spain. But then French settlers came in droves, and together mixed with African and colored slaves, they intermixed, forming their own little communities here in Paramin, and they even developed their own language known as Patois, which I believe some of the older folks in Paramin still speak. I don't know if they have died off. I don't know if the youth have thought in their mind, let me learn how to speak this. But from what I understand, many of the older folks meet together sometimes and they speak in Patois. If that has changed, let me know in the comments area of my YouTube channel. I would like to know. Now, like most things in Trinidad, you see a wide variety of houses. There isn't a strong enforcement of or standardization of how you should build your house. And so people put up varying structures of all kinds. But to me, in a mountain, you have to be extra careful, because you have the elements against you: earthquakes, landslides, and so forth. The roads here are very narrow, and as I have said in other trips where I climb mountains, this is not a road trip for somebody who is now learning to drive, new to driving, or doesn't have a vehicle capable of making it up here. You see, I had to switch gears here because it was getting so steep. You really can't tell, but I'm almost at a 60-degree angle going up here. And the truck itself is pretty heavy. All of us are in it, my family. And together with all that weight and the steep angle of the road, you just need 4x4, that's for sure. You'll also notice the road is very narrow. So logically, if a vehicle comes, two of us will not be able to pass at the same time. Somebody will have to give way in some part of the road. See, for instance, that white truck ahead pulled to the side of the road. That's because he really cannot come down here. So I had stopped there really to take in some of the view, but I will have to move on in order to give him a way to pass. Again, not for somebody that's new to driving. You'll also notice there's no rails on the side. So if you make a wrong move, You're actually going down a mountain, and there'll be very little to stop you. So be very careful if you're coming up these roads. It's not a place to play around with driving. Now, Paramin is largely an agricultural village, but there used to actually be a big fishing village. Now, I don't know if a part of it is still a fishing village or not. You can tell me in the comments area of my YouTube channel. But they are big in agriculture. Just have a lot of cocoa plantations. You can see here from this picture embedded what I was taking a picture of. Now, don't worry. I actually have a separate video for that I'll be putting up on my YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure you are subscribed. You only subscribe once. It's free. Some people subscribe, unsubscribe, and sometimes I learn from the YouTube support that sometimes it's buggy and it may make you think that you are unsubscribed when you are subscribed. So just make sure that when you view the videos, it's marked that you are subscribed. You can see that vehicles are parked on these narrow roads. So in addition to the road already being so narrow, you have to avoid vehicles parked on the right or left. It's not easy. Now this little strip here, wow, that is really steep. You can see the cars up, and you have to navigate what is not only a steep road, but the angle to turn is really tough. And you'll see the difficulty I have in managing this heavy vehicle, which is a manual by the way, getting up and turning, because I want to turn right. This is Cameron Road, and it's impossible to capture all of Paramin in one go. So, you know, we could essentially turn left or go straight or go one way or the other, but you wouldn't be able to catch it all in one video. So this is just part one. Make sure you look out for part two and so forth, because there's lots to cover in Paramin. Now, as you can see now that we are on top of the mountain, and you can see all the houses below, you can see where the rain clouds are coming in. So we will get a bit of rain, but it won't dampen our road trip today. And again, you can see how vehicles have to pull us to one side in order to allow you to pass, because it's just so narrow. And when I see roads like this made of concrete, it makes me wonder if, you know, the government doesn't lay concrete roads. So it makes me wonder whether the community just got together and, you know, tried to make the best of these roads. Sometimes when I stop like this, it's because I want to take in the scenery, take a shot. So you see again, for instance, we come here, Cameron bears to the left, but you know, I could essentially take it to the right. See, like that. I'm just giving you a view so you can see the angle of how I could have gone, but I'm going the other way. This lady here is selling fruits and vegetables. So a good place to buy your fruits and vegetables. You get a stand, because you know you're more or less assured that it's comes from natural circumstances and not, you know, forced ripe or anything. Coming up here is an adventure in itself, just because of the roads. So you see, I could also go left, but we're going right. Now, you may laugh at this, but this is the flat part of Paramin. In other words, the road is flat. But if you take any of the roads, for instance, the road to the left, or as you will see when we continue here, it all goes back down. It's all slanted. This road here is actually the main road most people know to get to Paramin. Following this road will take you back to Morne Coco Rd and back to Saddle Road in Marval, which is Again, the area where people normally enter Paramin or known to enter Paramin, but there are other ways to get to Paramin. You can actually get to Paramin from Maracas. You could actually get to Paramin from Cameron, the way I came, and so forth. There are multiple ways, but this road in particular is the most known one for people who come up here. Now, when I was a kid, this was all a dirt track and all green. That's right. There weren't all these houses. There was no pitched road. It was just a track, and it was really tough. You used to have to hire. I mean, you still have to hire jeeps to come up here, but you really did need a jeep back then. That church on your right there is Our Lady of Guadelupe or Guadeloupe Catholic Church. Again, Catholicism has had a strong influence in Trinidad. I made a whole specific video on that church, and when we come back from following this road, we will take a better look at it. But I have a separate video for that. Again, make sure to look on JB's Man Cave for that specific video. Now you can see how sharp the turns are here. This particular road is actually not that bad, but it does give that scenic route. Sometimes you may not normally take a road, but in these road trips, what I do is I take roads that probably nobody will go. Most people like to stay to the main roads and see the main scenes or sightseeing scenes, but what I do is I take offshoot roads and I follow the roads until it ends. Mostly too because I have a vehicle that can do that and can handle that. Not everybody that does that, goes sightseeing may be able to do that, but if your vehicle can handle that, you can take the chance and follow roads. So as you follow this road, it makes you wonder, where is this road going to? What's going to be at the end of it? And that's part of the adventure idea in road trips. Not every road has to lead to some special place, a special lookout, a special waterfall. And that's the great thing about adventuring in Trinidad. Besides hiking, you could take a road and it might take you to something relatively unknown, but yet still nice to take in. Now check this. See how narrow this is? And that vehicle is there and that house is there. Take some navigating. How about you? Do you think you could live up here? And when I say it like that, I'm talking about having to traverse these roads to get from your home to Port of Spain or to wherever. There are people here do this every day. Well, how about you? Could you do it? Feel free to place your comments in the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, especially for this video. And when you're answering, please do specify what you're answering, because if you just blurt out an answer, nobody will really understand what you're replying to. If you just said yes I can, yes you can, what, yes I can drive, have a home in Paramin and traverse these roads or whatever, just to make it clear for everybody. I do want to include everybody's comments, but if comments are vague or I can't understand what you're saying or it's not family friendly, then it simply does not make it to the public eye. So as you see, the more we follow this road, the more like an obstacle course it becomes, and it makes you wonder, where is it going, where will it end? Well, in this case it ends pretty much right here. I didn't want to follow that dirt road there because that seemed to be more of a track or trail to some other person's private place. And it was interesting how that dog just stayed quiet there, lying down, observing us. Seems like he's pretty used to people turning around here, I guess. So once we get past this guy, we go back uphill. And in doing so, you know, sometimes when you're going down, you really don't realize just how steep it is. But and you can't hear the engine because you know my family is also talking and stuff. But the truck is under strain to get up here, even with 4x4, because it's just that steep. And you know, watching 2D, you know, a flat view video doesn't really give you that sense of depth. Even in the 360 videos, the virtual reality videos that I sometimes publish, you still can't get that sense of depth, really. Something that people who create video cameras really haven't been able to. I don't know how they would mimic that to give you that sense, but you get a feel or an angle by the way the houses are built, and probably how you can see how the vehicles are slanted. Helps you to see just how steep it is. This particular part here is almost like a roller coaster. Could have lots of fun here on a bike. Now Paramin has many other side roads, and some of the roads are not even paved like this. They're just simply dirt roads. And you can take them and they go for quite a while up and down, you know, the mountain. And if your vehicle can't handle it, you'll be stuck. Definitely not a place to come when it's raining, when it's muddy. That is if you're taking those dirt roads. Roads like this are fine because you know it's pitched, or some of them are concrete. But you know you can also make road hikes. I see a lot of people think that, oh, you know, the only way to hike is you have to go in the forest or whatever. But road hiking is just as enjoyable, and it could be just as strenuous, but you don't have the element of getting lost per se. You know, being bitten by a snake or being flooded out because you're on a road. However, you do have the element of vehicles passing by and so forth. But a road like this, which isn't um, doesn't have a lot of traffic, you know, you could pretty much use this to hike. And it'll be a really nice hike. So something to think about if you ever wanted to do a hike. You know, get some good exercise. Paramin is a good place to do it, huh? And don't think that just going up is the exercise, because coming down any mountain puts a lot of stress on your legs, your quads, your hamstrings, your calves, and it will give you a good sweat. However, if you have bad knees, you may not want to select a place too steep, because that can place a lot of pressure on your knees. I'm not a medical doctor, by the way, so see your doctor if you need tips. Sometimes I will wear straps to help me. So this is the Catholic Church. It had nobody here, nobody in service. They were doing some groundwork lower below. And I do have some 5.3K footage of this, which will be, like I said, in a separate video. But I just wanted to park here and give you an angle of how this church is built on the side of the mountain. And you can see some of that footage right here. That's the main entrance. And the inside of this church is spectacular, really nice and colorful. Look at it through the lens. See, I really like how they built it. I wish I could have gone in further, but these two windows were off and we took the opportunity to look. Like I said, I have a more extensive video where you'll be able to see that better. You can look for that. Right now I'm just waiting for my family to get back into the truck so we can continue our journey. At every point of Paramin, you could, as you're traveling up the mountain, there are lookout places. I would call it more impromptu lookout places because it's not specifically a lookout. There is one really high up, but that's mostly for the ocean side, the north coast. But there are lookout areas that you could stop and take pictures. You just have to be careful with traffic, cars passing by, because the roads are narrow. How about the people of Paramin? I find the little dealings I've had with people up here, they're friendly. They have a strong spirit of community. So you're from Paramin, it's almost like you're coming into another country. They really do commit to their own, let's put it that way. But they're welcoming of visitors, like anything else. Once you come up here, respect the place, the roads, don't throw your trash around, don't do craziness. Be respectful, everything will be fine. Friendly people. To me, the most important thing when you're coming up here is really the roads and the traffic. You really need to pay close attention. It's not, if you look on the left, there isn't a rail there. So you make a wrong move, your tire suddenly goes over that little piece of concrete block. You literally are going down into somebody's house, which can end in certain disaster. Unfortunately, there are places where there's a lot of trash, as you saw there. It's a continuous problem that I've shown in many of my videos, no matter how much I try to avoid it. It's just there in front of the camera, and I'm sure that people pick it up. This angle here is really sharp. And you'll notice that most of the vehicles that are coming up here are trucks, jeeps, 4x4s, SUVs. They're not run-of-the-mill vehicles, because you'll just simply wear out your engine if your vehicle is not built to come up here. As we descend here, we will be heading back down to Morne Coco Rd. This is the road I was originally on when the start of this video, and that road will take us to Saddle Road. And like I said, when I was a teen coming up here, all of this was green and it was just a dirt track road. It wasn't so built up. Right now, it's this would be really unrecognizable. I have been up here a couple of times in recent years, so it's not like a stark difference for me. But I remember once, after not coming here for a few decades, and driving up here was really unrecognizable. And if you haven't been here for many years, I'm sure all of this is not, you can't recognize it. You just don't know. Nothing seems familiar because you are looking for a dirt road, you're looking for just green, and yet still there's all these houses, all these walls, and so forth. And you can see how sharp those angles are. There's no way you can Especially if you have a long vehicle like mine, you wouldn't be able to turn there with another vehicle turning at the same time. But the road itself is in pretty good condition. It's just lacking road markings, and it's also, in my view, lacking some areas where it gives some friction, some lines on the road. You know, you don't want to be racing down here at all. So by this part here, you're more or less starting to get to flat. You're not totally flat yet, but it isn't as steep as where we just came from. So all of this is Paramin. And again, this is just part one. I'm gonna visit here again. Hopefully the day will be sunny. And we're gonna go to other parts of Paramin because it's truly an adventure to come up here. Now, probably if you started early in the day, you probably could drive through the whole area, stopping at various places. But you know, if your plan is just to pass through, then there's no way you'll do it. And the higher up you go, the more isolated it becomes. I mean, there are villages and houses up there, but you know, you want to make sure you're going up there with a good vehicle. Last thing you want to do is be stuck up in Paramin. If you have a motorcycle, that's ideal too. You'll probably be able to go some places where a four-wheeler can't. But you would still have to be just as careful. So this right here, this part on the left is where jeeps, like that jeep on the left, parks, and they taxi up people up to Paramin. Not sure what the fees are. If you know what the fees are currently to do that, please comment in the comments area of my YouTube channel. Tell us make sure to write that you're telling us the fees to take a jeep up to Paramin. So this is back on the Morne Coco Rd. This leads us to Marval, to Saddle Road, and pretty much to near the end of this video. I have videos if you were looking for Marval. I do have videos on that. I do have pretty much videos on the whole Morne Coco Rd. More than one actually. Some of them with the natural songs if you like to hear that. Please do make sure to subscribe, let your friends know, like this video, hit the notification bell. That's all appreciated in helping me to build this channel. And of course, if you can, there's no pressure, but if you can donate monetarily, please visit JB's Man Cave or jboard.com. There's a donate button there on my website where you can donate according to the amount you want to donate. I appreciate those of you who have donated. Many of you have came to the channel and donated. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.